Look at how beautiful. Very cool. All right, I'm going to let you go, bud. Oh, boy. Hello, everyone. Back at it again in my little yellow kayak, and this time I'm in the ocean in the little yellow kayak. If you pick the right day, it's not bad. The wind forecast early on was almost correct. Ended up picking up a little bit later in the morning. But that is a squid. And if you've never had fresh squid before, if you only had the frozen kind from the supermarket, they are absolutely delicious. And you can clean them, cut them into rings or narrow strips. Get a hot pan, a little bit of olive oil, seasoning, whatever you like, garlic, fresh basil, some garden tomatoes. Just a few minutes until the squid turns white. And they're absolutely delicious. Takes no time at all to cook. But I'm out here just jigging away. I'm waiting for funny fish to show up. And on this trip, they were being a little bit fussy. They were up and down fast. I only saw a handful of fish showing. And it wasn't like they were blitzing on bait or there was any sustained feeds or big piles of birds. I mean, they'd porpoise through the bait once or twice and then vanish. So, yeah, I'm just jigging away, and that is a lizard fish. I know that little lizard fish was kind of hard to see. So this is what they look like when they're a little bit bigger, if you've never seen one. But there's all kinds of bottom fish down there. And I'm just jigging with, it's actually a tsunami slow pitch rod with a 2500 Daiwa Fuego LT reel, 15-pound braid. So for saltwater, this is a really light outfit. That rod has a crazy rating on it, though. It's rated to 3 ounces, I guess, for throwing slow pitch jigs and spoons. But to me, it feels like a trout rod. And I cut 2 inches off the butt of it because the rod handle was just a little bit long for the kayak. So it's even shorter. It really is like a trout rod. 5 foot 10 inches, super light. With that old Daiwa Fuego reel, that again is super light. You can jig this combo all day and not get tired. Maybe by the end of the day, your shoulder will be feeling it, but it's a real joy to fish with, and even small fish feel like they're putting up a good showing for themselves. And this is something a little different. I haven't seen one of these in a long time, let alone catch one. And that is a weakfish, otherwise known as squid or sea trout sometimes. To me, they look kind of like salter brown trout, except they've got yellowish fins, different pattern, and they've got 2 little fangs on the upper part of their jaw, I think. So these are definitely a fish that you don't want to put your thumb in their mouth and lip them like you would a largemouth bass or something like that, because they do have teeth, and then they have those 2 extra fangs on top in addition, and they'll stick you. So I'm getting my lip grippers on this one. He's thrashing around, so I dunked him a little bit more. And there he is. He's not sitting still for the camera, but there he is. Beautiful weakfish. And I was just jigging along with, it's a 1/2 ounce Tsunami forktail candy. I modified that bait a little bit. I've got it rigged up with assist hooks. The tuna guys like that for bigger spoons. But they also make them in smaller sizes. They're a little bit hard to find. And this is a Major Craft Jig Para assist hook. And it's the small size or maybe the medium size that I've got rigged up here, and I've got 2 of those hooks. So what that does is a couple things. I've got 2 hooks with a little red thread and tinsel tail there, and they act, I don't know, they might look like a little larva or bloodworm down there. And they've got a little tinsel for flash. I've got the spoon bouncing up and down, and then when the fish bites those hooks, they have a hard time throwing it because the hook is connected with PE thread, sort of like 300-pound Power Pro or something like that. And so the thread, which is really more like string, just flexes and bends. Whereas like a treble hook, it might be able to pop out of a fish, especially a fish like a weakfish. They have their name, or one of their names, comes from having a kind of a weak mouth, which allows hooks to pull free. Well, with the assist hooks, it's really hard for them to pull free. The same kind of principle applies to squid. Sometimes if you jig up a squid with a treble hook, they can easily throw that treble hook. That's why squid jigs usually have all those, they have multiple tines in the squid jigs, multiple points and hook points to snag their tentacles and fins, I guess, bodies, whatever. But the assist hooks help keep pretty much anything pinned. I'm taking a picture now of that weakfish because I don't know if I'm going to catch any more. That was my second weakfish, and I kind of ran over a little pile of them. And I was really happy to see these fish. They're fairly rare in New England waters. They show up every year, but not many people end up catching them, so I was feeling pretty good just having two. And I ended up paddling up a little bit more to get back on the fish. And I caught another two, which kind of blew my mind. I had the spoon dangling over the side and some extra line came out. I missed another one just there. So there must have been a whole pile of them down there. And so I just paddled up on them. I don't have any electronics, so I'm kind of doing this blind, but I was guesstimating based on the wind and the way it was blowing me offshore about how far I first ran into the weakfish. And yeah, it's kind of rough math here, but I ended up landing right on them again, and I was able to pull two more out of the school before I lost them. Maybe if I had some electronics on my little boat, I might have been able to stick with them for a little bit longer. But yeah, I was really happy to get the weakfish that I did out of the school. And they were all caught the same way on that little tsunami jigging rod and the tsunami fork-tail candy jig with the 2 assist hooks. And it was a 1/2 ounce jig, so it's the smallest one. They call it a size 12, that just stands for a 1/2 ounce. The next size up is a size 34, that stands for a 3/4 of an ounce. So that's how the sizing works there. It's not about millimeters or anything like that. It's just a translation of 1/2 ounces and 3/4 ounces into the model number. The stock hooks that it comes with are, I'll just say it, they're kind of lousy, the stock hooks. So even if you're going to fish it for albies or bonito or whatever, some other forktail, some other fast-moving fish, Spanish mackerel, I would definitely change out the split ring, definitely change out the hook. You can go with a single hook, like an owner single hook or BKK single hook, or you could put on a VMC 4X permasteel hook, whatever it is you want, but just upgrade the hardware. The other thing I noticed is that the older colors that I had a bay anchovy color and a pink color. They redid the colors, I think, this year, and they look completely different, but I'm pretty sure the mold is the same. And I don't know if the color really matters too much, not just for weakfish, I mean in general, because the fish had pretty much chewed the paint off of the jig by this point, because I've been fishing that jig for a while now on a couple different trips, and there's not much of the original sort of brownish gold bay anchovy color left to it. It's mostly just silver now. So I don't know how much the color really matters. I can tell you that just jigging out here, pretty much as soon as I got beyond about 10 feet or so, it was just fish after fish, all sizes of fish. Some of them were the weakfish, the squid. I got the lizardfish, A little bit deeper water, it seemed like I was getting some of the bigger scup, like that guy there. But that was it for the morning. I started to get blown offshore quite a ways actually, because the wind forecast was a little bit heavier than it turned out to actually be. This is northeast. I would guess, maybe 5 to 10, maybe 10 plus at some points. And it was supposed to be just light northeast, and coming around southeast around 2 o'clock. It actually ended up coming around southeast by about noon, and it was much heavier than forecast, so 10 plus easy, I'd say. And so for me, this is an easy call. I've got my little boat out here in the ocean. If I had the Hobie kayak, I could stay out a little bit longer, but I have to get closer to shore, and I figured as long as I was heading in, I would just keep going and go get some breakfast or something. Anyway, I was really happy to catch those weakfish, and the squid was a nice bonus. The star of today was definitely the Tsunami forktail candy jigging spoon with those 2 assist hooks. Catches everything, man. It was really a good lure to use in the wind. That ½ ounce finds the bottom pretty quickly. It seemed like the assist hooks didn't catch weeds as much as a treble hook on the bottom of the bait would either. So that was another bonus there. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Just like all my other videos, I'll put all the gear, the rod, the reel, the line, the lure, the assist hooks, all that stuff in the video description, so you can duplicate what I was doing out here this morning and hopefully have some good success when you go out into the ocean next time and the albies and bonito don't show and you spend the morning jigging and try to make lemonade out of lemons, I guess. All right, I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!